I've been picking up a bit of a different energy today. So I found, first things first, what got me into this energy is I found a puzzle piece. Where is it? I found a puzzle piece in a book that I was reading last night. It fell out in like the middle of the book. The book that I was reading is The Giver by Lois Lowry. I got it from Value Village like a while ago. It's pretty good so far. It reminds me of a book that I also read in high school called Flawed, where it's like a different type of society, living, city, whatever situation. Very cool. But it fell right out in the middle of it, and farms could be significant, or like the color red could be significant, but it is a very cute puzzle piece, and I love when little things like that find me somehow. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I love it, and I love when things like that happen. I will keep it probably forever. Puzzles could be significant. Farms could be significant. The color red could be significant. The month November could also be significant. Today in general is just giving like fall day. It did storm last night, so it's very gray and cloudy. Makes me want to stay in bed. But yeah, I've been really picking up since last night of this energy of like this missing link, this missing piece, this missing puzzle piece. Something just feels like it's missing, like there's this gap. And I feel like you've been trying to manifest a person, maybe, to fill that gap. I think you've been projecting this onto a person specifically and trying to attract in a specific person, thinking that that is what needs to fill the gap in your life. That is the missing puzzle piece, that is the missing link. But I think what you're really missing here is yourself. I feel like you are the missing link. You just refuse to see it with the Five of Pentacles. There's this lack wound here. You are your own home, you are your own safety, but there's just a need to see that. And I feel like you could be going through a little bit of a dark night of the soul, maybe going through some deep awakenings within yourself, and maybe sorting through some traumas within yourself. But I feel like as you're doing that, you're really growing and blossoming as a person, and you're turning into a new version of yourself. And I feel like there's a need to go through a bit of a perspective switch when it comes to what you think is missing and why you're getting this feeling of emptiness or a gap that needs to be filled, like there's a hole somewhere. Something that doesn't feel quite right, and I think it's because there's still a perspective switch that needs to be made about yourself. Yeah, Seven of Swords. You still kind of project a lot onto yourself, and I feel like the missing link, or the missing, whatever's missing here, is a part of yourself that you are not allowing to really exist at its brightest and fullest. You're really dimming your own light at this time, and I feel like it's not so much like intentionally. I feel like you just could feel really down and out, and maybe losing hope on whatever it is that you've been trying to manifest. But I feel like the reason why manifestation hasn't come in, maybe this is a person. It feels like a person. It really heavily feels like you're attracting in, you're trying to manifest or attract in a person. But it feels like the reason why this has been delayed is because there's a need to see yourself clearly before you attempt to see somebody else clearly. There's a need to remind yourself that the level of depth that you want to reach with another person first needs to be reached with yourself. And if you want to be seen clearly and see others clearly, you have to first see yourself clearly. And I feel like you are coming to this awakening, and this is like a little confirmation for you, but it hurts. I feel like whatever you're kind of going through right now, whatever awakening you're going through, whatever little dark night of the soul you're going through right now, whatever trauma you're sorting through and kind of forcing yourself to see clearly, it isn't an easy pill to swallow. It's difficult, and it's bringing up a lot of pain and triggers, and I'm just here to remind you that this too shall pass, and that you're doing this for a reason, and that these are things that need to be acknowledged so that you can express yourself in the most authentic and free-spirited way. I feel like you're realizing that you are really the one who has kept yourself in a box for so long. As a child, you can blame it on your parents, but the older you get and the more control you have over your own actions and who you are as a person, you can't help but see the fact that you are holding yourself back very clearly now. I feel like it's so easy as humans to pass the blame onto things that have hurt us with the Three of Swords. And, push the blame onto other situations and people and the universe and whatever, but at the end of the day, we really cause a lot of our own destruction and sabotaging and really get in our own ways. And I feel like you are coming to that kind of harsh realization at this time that the reason why you're not getting what you want right now or getting what you deserve right now is because you're not in a place where you can see it clearly and accept it in the way that you're meant to. You have to get yourself into the same kind of vibration as what you're manifesting, and you're getting close. You're really getting there. You're just working through more of whatever ego death you're going through at this time. Something about your pride is really being put to the side, and I feel like you're realizing just how much your ego how big of a role your ego has had in your life without you even fully realizing it. You could have really kind of viewed yourself and prided yourself as not so egocentric and like ego driven, but at the end of the day, our egos all show up very differently, and I feel like you're really starting to see clearly how yours shows up in your life and in your mind and in your existence and in your reality. How you're allowing yourself to get in your own way sometimes, if not most of the time. And I'm not saying this with any judgment. These are all realizations that we all should and need to go through in order to live our lives to the fullest and truly let go of the things that no longer serve us. We can't let go of things that we refuse to confront, or things that we refuse to release our grip of, I feel like you're starting to see exactly where you've been maybe still very heavily judging yourself and kind of keeping yourself held back in ways because you don't feel good enough. You don't want to be disappointed, so you don't want to assume positive things about yourself all the time. But I feel like you've proven yourself time and time and time again that regardless of how well you do, you learn your lesson and you move on, and it always benefits you in the long run, regardless of if you go through a little bit of embarrassment or if your ego gets a little bit bruised in the process. It's like learning. I saw this post on TikTok where it's like ways to really embody this free spirit kind of energy, how to really give yourself a level of freedom that you haven't experienced before, and that's by making yourself do something uncomfortable but once a week. Nothing major, sitting on the floor, eating with your hands with no cutlery, things, going up to a stranger and starting a conversation, asking for somebody's number, just putting yourself out there and making yourself uncomfortable and putting yourself up to the possibility of embarrassment. And I feel like embarrassment is we're too scared of it. I don't understand. I mean, it's all about ego, and as humans, we love to judge people. But embarrassment is an underexperienced emotion, and it's something that we can do so much more with than what we realize, and we allow it to hold us back in way more ways than we care to admit. There's a need to take the vanity out of the situation a little bit and not care about how you are going to be perceived during this time of growth, and just allow yourself to be seen during this time of growth. It's not supposed to be something that you think about and allow to consume you. It's something that's you're just supposed to allow it to happen. You're going to be perceived. It's just how it is. You're going to be seen. Even on your darker days, you radiate at a very light, bright, and high frequency. So you're going to be noticed. It's just a fact. but I feel like you're getting used to the idea of being noticed on your good days. Now it's time to get used to being noticed and comfortable with being seen when you don't feel the prettiest, when you don't feel the best, when you don't feel like your highest, most vibrational self. It's almost like this missing puzzle piece is like an aspect of yourself or a side of yourself that you have been like hiding and not allowing to come to light and not expressing or ignoring in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like you're realizing that this missing piece in your life, this missing link, isn't another person, it's a facet of yourself. It's something within you. It's a version of you that is begging to come to light at this time. And you've only gotten this far because you've done so much work. I feel like there's a need to acknowledge yourself, to be proud of yourself, for even allowing yourself to feel this at all, because it is so easy to ignore. The world gives us so many ways to ignore our problems and to not do inner work and to be distracted, that it's amazing that you're allowing yourself to feel this discomfort and to even think about willingly being embarrassed, like in order to make your life better in the long run, you're willing to do the seemingly difficult things now. And that is so, chills, that is so important. And you need to acknowledge that. You need to acknowledge how drastically different you are now than you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. The difference is astronomical. And I'm just picking up on your energy. So I can only see like a very little bit of what you are capable of acknowledging. So I feel like you need to sit yourself down and you need to really give yourself credit where credit is due. I feel like you're getting maybe a little too caught up in the negativity, that you need to show yourself just how impressive it is that you've gotten yourself to this point at all, that you were willing to experience this negativity at all, after what you've been through, after what you've pushed yourself through. You're still willing to go back and re-experience things and reflect on hard things. I'm gonna cry. Just to learn, just to see things from a new perspective. You're willing to go through the pain again to a certain degree in order to allow yourself to let it go and to see things from a new perspective. You're not shying away from the difficult things because you know that if you don't look at it now, it just gets harder and harder and harder, and it takes up more control and it consumes your life even more. Yeah, it's like the clarity that you're looking for is truly within you. We have the Two of Cups in reverse, the Six of Wands in reverse, and then the Ace of Swords in reverse. I feel like part of the reason why you've been so confused and so foggy about everything is because you haven't been looking for the answers within yourself. You've been looking for the answers outside of yourself, and because of that, you've been creating such a disconnect. It's like you're almost viewing yourself as your trauma and as the triggers that you're working through right now. You're not viewing yourself as the beautiful being that you've created and cultivated along the way. It's like you're not seeing your light clearly. You're not allowing yourself to shine as brightly because you're not fully acknowledging yourself at this time. Feels like there's like a veil over your eyes in terms of like I'm picturing somebody looking in a mirror and there's like a veil over their eyes, like they can't even see themselves in the mirror. There's like this resistance. It's like you're fighting, it's like you're resisting to fully let something go. But it's like the more that you let something go physically, like some form of physical burden, I feel like maybe you do too much. Maybe you need to let some of this off of your chest and really talk to somebody about this. Because I feel like you're keeping things maybe a little bit too close to your chest, being a little bit too defensive over things, not wanting to acknowledge maybe like how much you are carrying at this time or how much it is affecting you at this time. I do just want to take a second to acknowledge how beautiful the Seven of Swords is. I've never seen a Seven of Swords card that is so stunning. Like, I love this deck. Is so beautiful. It's the Crystal Tarot by Elizabeth Trevisan. I do not know, but here's the box. Very stunning. It gives like stained glass vibes. Love it. So pretty. But it does feel like there's some form of resistance to a cycle being closed out of maybe hyper independence, not trusting the people around you to catch you if you need them to, therefore you just don't ask for help at all. I feel like there's a lot of maybe projection from past people onto current circumstances, maybe not wanting to find out if these people are going to fall short or not, or if they're going to be act the same as people from the past, so you don't want to even give them the chance to show you. But I feel like it's necessary because whoever doesn't, you know, to cut them out of your life. But I also feel like you're surrounded by some really good people right now, some people who really love you and really do want to support you and listen to what you have to say. People, even when you are going through things, you are still capable of seeing things from a perspective that people are very curious about, that people have a lot to learn from. People love hearing your perspective on things. I really want to cry. I really want to cry. People love you, and I feel like you're just not fully seeing that because you're not seeing the correct version of yourself right now. I feel like you're maybe stuck in a bit of a past version of yourself that you're working through right now, maybe tied to your anger. But I feel like I'm here to remind you that people don't see you as your anger. People don't see you as that version of you. People see you as like the sun. I'm seeing like the High Priestess, the Hierophant. Like, people see you as like the epitome of commitment to self and to those that you love. Like, people are like ride or dies for you. They love you so much, and I feel like they just really want to. You could be pulling back right now, maybe a bit on the quiet side, but it's like they want to hear from you. They want to talk to you. And the times that you need your friends the most are the times when you want to be alone. When you feel like you need to ghost everyone, that's when you need to gather them close the most. 7-7 could be significant as well as 10-10. But it's like you are feel stuck on a certain viewpoint of yourself, perspective or version of yourself that you are currently working through, and there's just a need to step out of it and remind yourself that that is not who you are. That is what you are working through. Yes, there's a bit of her or him or they still in you, but that's why you're working through it. You just got to remind yourself of the growth that you have made and exactly how far you have come, that you are even able to acknowledge this at all within yourself. Whatever negative or trigger that you are working through right now, it is amazing that you are even able to look at it at all as something that you have control over, that you can fix. That's beautiful. A lot of people don't get to that point. A lot of people's egos don't allow them to see the control that they have, the play that they have in their life, both negative and positive. It's so easy to push the blame onto other people, onto the universe. I am who I am what I am. You are proof that growth and change is possible, and that you don't have to stay the same, that we are not meant to stay the same. It's beautiful, and I feel like you're just not giving yourself enough credit right now. It is absolutely amazing that you are able to do the work that you are doing within yourself right now. That shit is hard, and it hurts, as you are feeling right now. But again, I'm just here to remind you, this too shall pass. You are working on this for a reason. You are the missing puzzle piece. You are the prize. There's a new cycle wanting to come into your life, wanting to start, and I feel like this is being worked through so that you're not going to be projecting whatever resistance you're currently feeling onto this new cycle. You're going to be ready, you're going to be prepared. Or you're going to feel prepared, at least, even if you aren't fully prepared, because we're never going to be fully prepared, but there's a need to take the leap and do it scared anyways, and I feel like you're going to be ready. You're going to be scared, but you're going to be ready, and you're going to be ready to do it anyways, because you're going to feel like you have the tools under your belt that are necessary for this. With the Nine of Pentacles, you are qualified, you just got the tools necessary. You've done the work, you've gained new perspectives, you're able to see things clearly. This could be in regards to love with the Knight of Cups. You could have somebody who really wants to offer something emotional to you, really wants to invest something. You could receive flowers from this person. This person could be a water sign, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, but it does feel like there's some form of like emotional acknowledgement that wants to be made, or offer of some kind. This person feels a lot for you. There's this level of fear. I feel like this person is going through a similar kind of dark night of the soul as you are, so that they can prepare themselves and be ready to present this to you. Just as it's like this mirroring, this person is preparing to extend an offer and you're preparing to receive and accept an offer. Oh my gosh, it's the Hierophant card. And I also love this deck because it says Papa. I'm on the Papa. Sorry. It always makes me smile whenever I see it. But that Hierophant card. Damn. Sorry, this person, I'm dropping everything. This person wants to spill the freaking beans. And the Queen of Cups. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. This person really views you as like the example. Like you are the person that people should look to as an example of how to take care of yourself, how to love yourself, how to nurture the people around you as well as yourself and your life. You could have pets. This person could think that you're a really good pet parent, or you could be a mom or dad, and you could be a parent of some kind. Plant, pet, or actual child parent, one of those. But this person just sees how much you have to give. You are so nurturing and your love is so overflowing. And again, it's because it starts from within. We're not perfect. We don't love perfectly all the time, but there is an attempt within you to love yourself first. And I feel like that's what really changes how you give. You're also picky about what you receive now, which makes what you give feels like worth more almost, because you're pickier. You're picky about who you give to, you're picky about who you receive from. This person views you in like this celebrity type of energy. So this person could watch you online. This could also be something that you are destined for. You could be destined for fame and this person sees it, as well as other people. But that's, again, something that you're coming to terms with as you're working through things within yourself and as you're shedding that veil of whatever version of yourself you kind of view yourself as still. The accurate version and present version of yourself is coming to light, and that your current self truly feels destined for fame, to be honest. I did go on that little rant about how you need to get used to being perceived because you were noticeable and you were meant to be seen at a greater level. I've been talking about this a lot. You catch people's eye and you're meant to be seen in some capacity. And this person knows that. This person really, really wants to like protect you. There's this protective energy. They really want to release some form of conflict, or almost like defend your peace. Like you defend your own peace, but this person wants, it's giving like security guard almost. They want to be like your bodyguard. They want to protect you. They want, because they want you to keep living in a whimsical way. They don't want you to ever lose your whimsy or your light, so they want you to feel safe all the time. That's so sweet. You really don't see this coming, but this person is like making some form of choice in their life right now. They could be moving towards you quite soon, but don't hold any expectations. I feel like right now you're just meant to be focused on yourself. This is just a confirmation for what your intuition has been trying to tell you. I feel like you've been kind of waiting for something or expecting something. I did see a reading earlier that was talking about that I kind of resonated with, because there are manifestations in my own life that I've been kind of attracting for a while or manifesting for a while. So there are certain things in my life that I too am also waiting for, but I feel like as humans, we naturally are kind of always waiting for something. And I feel like there's this need to get us out of that waiting energy so that we're back in the present energy. I'm picturing the Four of Cups, but from the Divine, the Light Seers deck, where she's like she looks so bored, but there's so much going on around her. There's like paint on the ground and trees and animals and birds and whatever, and she's sitting like, when will my day come? Your day is here. Your day is now. Take advantage of it, you know? All because it's not what you fully expect doesn't mean that you can't create something beautiful out of it regardless. And I feel like you're kind of learning that life isn't just good when you receive manifestations and you receive confirmations on things. Life can be beautiful all the time. You just got to create it. It's about learning that life isn't what is given to you. Life is what you create out of what is given to you, what is not given to you, whatever, you know? If you want a beautiful, whimsical life, that's something that you actively have to achieve. It's not something that will just kind of happen, you know? But this person really views you as like a little fairy. I don't know. This Page of Cups. Page of Cups always gives me like very whimsical, daydreamy kind of energy, head in the clouds, alien, fairy kind of energy, not from here, like outer space energy. Like you could literally be an alien, but or like mermaid energy. Just like very fairy tale, just very whimsical, very whimsical. Right. Is there anything that you would like to say before I finish this? Anything else that you'd like to come through before I walk away? And go along with my day. Anything else? There's just a need to keep loving yourself and to walk away from the need, from this like waiting energy of waiting for something to come in. If you want love, there's a need to give that love to yourself. There's a need to walk away from some form of condition, some form of idea of conditional love, of holding that kind of expectation into towards love. But yeah, just keep loving yourself. Walk away from the old narratives that you hold of yourself. Don't focus on what you're trying to manifest, what you're trying to bring in. What you're feeling and what you're going through at this time is much more important, and the lessons you learn from this will literally slingshot you into whatever manifestations you are trying to attract in right now. So just trust the process and trust that this too shall pass, that these feelings are not forever, that this version of you no longer fully exists. You're simply learning. Life is all about spirals. We visit old versions of ourselves and old memories and see them from new perspectives and from new versions of ourselves. And this is simply that. You aren't that person. You aren't becoming that person again. You are simply revisiting that person to reflect and to learn what you can to bring into this next chapter. It's to fully help you let go and to walk away from the old narratives that you've held in your brain of yourself for too long now. But anywho, I love you so much. Don't be too hard on yourself. Remind yourself of how far you've come, of how much work you've done, and how proud you should be of yourself. You should be really grateful for yourself, for your spirit team, for the people around you, for what you've got right now. And just be proud of the fact that you got yourself here. Anyhow, I love you. I will see you in the next one, whenever that is. As always, don't hold on to any of these. They're just meant to be confirmations for what your intuition has already been trying to tell you. So don't shoot the messenger. It was already coming from within, okay? And if it's confusing you, it simply just isn't for you, and that's okay. Discernment in itself is a lesson and a message and something that we all need to learn in life. Anyways, if you're interested in more content by me, I do post on YouTube under Willow Tree Tarot 333 and Sarah Jean 333, I believe. I have a link tree on my Instagram if you're interested, and then I also post on another TikTok under Sarah Jean 777, I believe, but I don't post on there very often, but there are some little outfit videos and stuff like that if you are interested. But yeah, all right, spiel over. I will see y'all later.